Hey there, everybody. Hugh here, back again, picking up exactly where I left off with this raw, unedited writing I did while I was back at Leavenworth Federal Prison back several years ago, between 2009 2011. And so, a reminder that I've changed names in this, including my own. I go by the name of Benjamin Hughes in these writings. And in this particular passage, there is a dog, and I've changed the name of the dog as well. But really quick here, we just left off. Myself and the handful of guys I came in with were being told the programs we have to take and the classes we have to attend and things like that. That was just part of the deal. You know, and you sit through some kind of boring lecture and you have probably some kind of workbook that you take a very easy test and all, but you get, you know, credits for doing such a thing that allow you to finish your sentence at a halfway house, potentially home confinement, and all. And some of them seemed kind of silly. So if you haven't seen the previous video, please check that out. So this is picking up right there, and we are going into the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting that we all seem to be required to go to. So here goes. We filed into the activity room a few minutes before 7 p.m. There were two older gentlemen occupying a table in the front of the room wearing street clothes. They weren't inmates, but actual citizens, recovering addicts who visited the camp and the main penitentiary every week. One wore a cowboy hat and leather jacket with fringe on the sleeves, the other a black stocking cap with a red and black flannel shirt. Other inmates showed up, and we passed around a roster to sign with our names and numbers. Looks like a few new faces this evening. Welcome, gentlemen, the cowboy said. We nodded. The meeting was called to order, mantras were chanted, passages recited, and the sharing proceeded. Heavy hearts hemorrhaged, emotions were unleashed, pain was euthanized, and anguishes eased. For some, dangerous truths were revealed. I whispered to Nick and gestured with my forehead. Hey, it's Noah. A moment later, he spoke up to tell his own tale. My name is Noah, and I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Noah, we mumbled in unison. Well, let's see. I've been sober now for almost 25 years, and it was through a lot of suffering from a lot of different folks in my life. Lots of people wanted me to let go of the bottle, but guess the bottle, well, I guess the bottle just didn't want to let go of me. Here we go, Nick whispered, rolling his eyes. Others nodded and chuckled. I went through a few interventions, and my ex-wife, rather, she threatened to leave me, and she actually did a few times. She'd say, if not for you, not even for me, just do it for the kids. I'd stare right into their little faces, full of tears and pain and a million letdowns, and I'd promise to quit. And I would for a little bit. Then slowly but surely I'd spend more and more time at the bar and in the garage with a bottle of Jack and a case of Bud. You see, the old lady wouldn't let me get all fucked up in the house anymore. Next thing I know, I'm picking the kids up from school late, drunk. Hell, sometimes not at all. While I listened to Noah, as I had the others, I knew I had my own share of sin, but I didn't fit into AA. I felt like an imposter, a voyeur sticking my nose where it didn't belong. There were plenty of stories I could tell about excess, but I almost told them with a smile and ended with a laugh, bragging almost. Others had demons and downfalls, but I had exploits and adventures. Not that I had much to show for them. I could say my ABCs backwards in 3 languages under any altered condition just to show off. I even practiced to stay sharp in case I had to whip that one out for the state troopers on some side of the highway somewhere. I could puke mid-sentence and barely miss a beat, often to the horror of whoever I was talking to at the time. Such admissions could have been my contribution to the dialogue, but they all seemed inappropriate for this setting. And the dog finally told me to quit drinking. This codger's off his damn rocker, Nick hissed in my ear, cupping his hand around his mouth. Noah continued his story. So I was driving my old pickup truck. This is 25 years ago now. I was on some back road and it was just me and Dozer, my German Shepherd. It was after midnight, well after midnight, and I was leaving a buddy's house. He wasn't really a good buddy, you know, but I knew him from poker. He was a poker buddy, you might say. It was a poker game. Pirates and gamblers. Pretty high stakes game. Guys with machine guns on the porch. None at the tables, though. That was the rule. For good reason, too, let me tell you. After crazy old Casper Finnegan took down Roscoe, well, that's a whole other can of worms there. Ha ha ha. Anywho, where was I? Oh, yeah, I hadn't done so good, and I was pretty fucked up, just driving around and blasting the radio. That's how I'd cool down after a bad night at the table, and I was sliding all over those gravel roads. Dozer was in the front seat, staring at me the whole time. My buddy. He was giving me the whites of his eyes like he used to. He used to go with me and just stay in the truck all night while I was fucking around. So I'm buzzing along and I drop my fucking cigarette and it goes down in my crotch, you know, between me and the seat. It starts to burn me up pretty good down there. And I smell the seat burning and I'm looking down and... Have I heard this before? The story that ends in mangled metal, martyred hounds, and a reformed man forever? And so I swerve off the road into the ditch, and I got two wheels going in the ditch, and I jerk the wheel, slide back on the gravel, fishtailing, and finally got a hold of her. Dozer freaks out, snaps, and bites me right in the arm. Yowzer! Stung like a son of a bitch. The room lets out a quick, ha! I don't know if he really wanted to hurt me or just say, hey, motherfucker, pull your shit together. I don't want to die. Ha ha! Ha ha, clap, clap. We all gave uproarious approval. And I haven't had a drink since. Good old Dozer. Best dog there ever was. Nobody could get me off the sauce. Not the wife, not my kids. Dozer did, though. I sure did love that dog. I miss that fucking dog. I miss him a whole lot. The room thanked Noah for sharing, and we ended the meeting with the serenity prayer. Noah's story was moving and entertaining, but I looked forward to skipping the next meeting and the rest that followed. Nick expressed a similar sentiment as we folded up our metal chairs before shuffling out of the activity room. I ain't going back there again, he scowled. Just a bunch of drunks telling their war stories. Deadbeats, wife beaters, dope heads, dog abusers. Maybe so, I said. That Noah seems like a character. Oh, he's something all right. I'm not sure what, but he's something. Hope you enjoyed that. If so, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it and look forward to hanging out with you all again.